I don't really want to hang out with anybody I don't like.
Alec lost. I gave him a gift and he lost it.
I didn't. Yeah, I did. He gave me a great book called Confederates in the Attic, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm sorry.
He left it at the airport.
I left it at the airport. I was reading it.
It was my dad's copy.
Can I finish?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, fucking boo-hoo, Emmett. I like this. Emmett's now trying to insert himself as a character on the show and elicit pity and empathy. It might work. It might work. All right, here we go. Fucking rip and rock. Is it recording?
Yep.
All right. We're doing it, and we're doing it. And I gotta fucking make sure this thing turns on. Hey everybody, station identification. It's Big Al's Grill ASMR. We're doing a little bit of a solo pod today. We're also in a new park. I don't know if you can all tell by the baseball going on behind me, but we got some new background stuff going on. And Emmett is also mic'd up. Emmett, say hi.
Hey, how are you?
Emmett's mic'd up today, so we got a whole bunch of things to talk about. Emmett also challenged me off air and he said, get fired up. So I might just be fired up, who knows? A lot to talk about since I last checked in with everybody. But hope everybody's been enjoying the pod so far. The last episode with Langston and David, I really showed my ass. This is also the chair that David sat in, and I'm not gonna lie, he might have broken it. I definitely feel like I'm sinking into this green chair right now, but that's okay, because David's a good friend, and I will be reimbursed somehow. Definitely can't go on the podcast, this podcast, but first things first, Detroit. I was just in Detroit. Guys, I want to say to everybody that came out, what a time. I mean, I think we broke the record in Detroit, actually, for most third rows filled, so that was really cool. I think we sold 150 tickets over 3 shows in a 300-person room. Pretty good, you know. But I'll tell you what, I had a wonderful time. Everybody that showed up, I think, was really stoked about the entire show, like every show. It was some of the most fun I've had on stage this year, just because I felt as though, you know, I think I've come on here and I've spoken about how I get in too much in my own head. I'm too, like, freaking out about new material and saying what I want to say, but I just went up there and I said, fuck it. It doesn't matter anymore. We're just going, we're doing it live, and we're just going to have fun and be friends. And that's what I wanted to talk about. First of all, the girl, hey, shout out to Emma, came up to me afterwards. She works at Lens Crafters. I was wearing my glasses all weekend doing smart guy comedy. And she goes, you should get an eye exam again. I could tell those, I'm like, yeah, I've had these glasses since high school. She goes, that's bad. You need to get another eye exam. And she says, like, I'll do it for you. I might have to pick you up on that, Emma. Shout out to the guy who drove all the way from Chicago. I'll tell you what, that dude was one of the best audience members I've ever seen. I forget your fucking name, but we did have a cigarette after the show, and I fucking love you for that. Shout out to my guy in the last show. I forget your name as well, but I will say, when you said, well, don't shake your head, Emmett. Sometimes I forget the names.
All of them?
I remembered Emma's name.
Okay. I mean, you shared a cigarette with him. It feels like, I don't know, maybe.
I know, man, but you got it. It was the last show. I was fucking dog tired, man.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
He was the man. I mean, all these guys were great. My friend who came up to me at the end of the last show, I think he was a comedian. He goes, I just wanted to, you know, like, listen to you. It reminds me that, you know, I'm not the only guy going crazy. And I go, wow. Yeah, we are going crazy, but at least we're together. Yeah. Like, you know, and that really made me feel good. Shout out to Marcus and Hunter, who got a beer with me after the Friday show. I appreciate that. That's them up there in the plane. Emmett picked out this location because of its proximity to the Santa Monica airport, which is perfect.
Every 3 minutes a plane will be in the sky.
Every 3 minutes a plane will be coming back and flying over us.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Marcus and Hunter. Marcus called me, said my hair reminds him of Mike Cannon, and that's okay. I don't see it, but that's all right. Also, a lot of podcast fans I met actually in Detroit, which I was really, really stoked on. Guys, thank you for showing up. I wish I remembered everybody's name, of course, but I do want to know that I love you all very, very dearly, and it really does mean the world to me that we could share these shows together. You know, a lot of people are like, you know, people have like fans. I'd say we're all kind of friends at this point. It feels like we're all kind of just getting to know each other, and then we all, you know, sometimes we go out, we party a little bit afterwards, and that's what I like to hear. And also, I gotta say, shout out to Lauren, who drove me around Detroit all day on Saturday, just showing me the big points of interest. That was super nice of you to do. I didn't really need to do that. I think Detroit might be back. I feel as though it might be back. What I loved about that city was all of the turn of the century, old style buildings, and then like vacant lots next to them, which was very cool. Also their obsession with coney dogs. They're like, we love coney dogs. I'm like, what? Why? The people of Detroit have adopted like Little Caesars pizzas, so the Detroit style pizza, which I can respect, but coney dogs? Stuff's gross. It's gross. I don't know. I don't like, you know, as evidenced by the last episode, I can't get down with sloppy foods. I wear too much white clothes. Emmett's shaking his head. Whatever, dude.
We really do need a cooler.
We do need a cooler. I think I'm going to bring a cooler to the show in Austin.
Yeah.
I got some good feedback.
Did we sell any t-shirts in Detroit?
We sold, shout out to everybody who got their official t-shirts, dude. We sold out all of our t-shirts in Detroit. I brought 30 t-shirts with me, maybe 35. We sold them all out. So, and I'll be bringing t-shirts as well, guys, to Austin, Texas. This will be the week that it comes out. Please, please come to Austin, Texas. We have 4 shows at Cap City Comedy Club. Like I said, I'll be bringing some official merch there. Then after that, Cincinnati, Ohio. If you live in the Ohio, Cincinnati area, please come to those. Those will be great. San Francisco, I know my San Francisco people are going to show up, dude. We fucking packed it out at Cobb's. This time we need to sell it out.
High ticket warning or no?
No, I mean, we're actually like low, you know, it's moving towards a sellout in San Fran, so we need to keep that moving. Okay, Sacramento's a high ticket warning. But I will say, Sacramento, when I went last year, that was one of the best shows I've ever had. One of the best shows. It was so fun. So Sacramento, come out to that. And of course, 4th of July weekend, San Diego. San Diego will be out of control. I mean, that's going to be a true, like, born in the USA, get fucked up, get after it kind of weekend. You know, it won't be a total bacchanal. I will always be trying to make sure that I'm ready to rock. But what are you going to do? Can we check to make sure the audio is working?
It's working.
Can you hear it on the thing?
I can't hear it on the thing. Do you want me to pause and then try?
Yeah, can we pause and just double check? Yeah. Sorry, I'm an asshole. And we're back. I still freak out, dude. I'm like, please make sure it's speaking into this thing. Yeah, no, but I'm serious, guys. These shows they're the best. They're my favorite thing to do. Also, by the way, Chicago, out now. Tickets are available. I'm coming September 5th to the 7th, I believe. Maybe 3rd to the 5th. I don't know, but like early Chicago dates. Those are going to, guys, that's going to be 5 shows. That's going to be, and listen, Chicago is my people. That is where, I truly, truly believe that we will live forever, Chicago. So, no, but from the bottom of my heart, like I love meeting friends of the pod, and I love meeting friends of the stand-up out on the road. It's just like, it warms my heart. It really does, and it's the reason why we do all this, because like Vin Diesel said in Too Fast, Too Furious, I ain't got no choice. Yeah. Okay, let's get this. We're doing turkey burgers today. Oh, we're gonna get fired up on these turkey burgies. Yeah, I had a weird, I got absolutely fucked up on Sunday for like no reason.
Really?
Yeah, I decided to just kind of floor it. I did a little, we kept calling it Field Trip. It was me, Catherine Blanford, and Jared Goldstein.
Shout out them.
Shout out to Jared Goldstein. Shout out the former guests on the pod, and we decided to congregate. Here's one of the nice things about being a stand-up is you can just decide like, hey, we don't have any spots this Sunday night, and I got nowhere to be Monday morning. Fuck it. Let's just take mushrooms all day and go to Manhattan Beach. That's what we did. And we did get mad at Catherine, me and Jared, because Catherine kept being like, I have to go on this podcast tomorrow. And it's like, bitch, who cares? It's not Rogan. Jared literally yelled at her. He's like, bitch, shut up. He does sound like that. Everybody knows you need to clean the grill. Clean the grill. Eee! What if I think New York City, if I ever get an audition with the Comedy Cellar, I'm going to get up there and just go, hey, my name's Alec Flynn. How are you? Dating's hard, isn't it? Wouldn't that be sick? Wouldn't that be fucking sick, dude?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, man. Wait, you know what I did want to talk about? I'll just get right into that before. No, I think we have to touch on this before we get going.
Let's do it.
I went on the Almost Friday podcast last week. An episode critics acclaimed was, quote, worst guest ever. Quote, these guys are clearly not friends.
Right.
Quote, the chemistry is on the charts. That one's funny. That's pretty good. And I think the reason for that is, like, you know, I was particularly lonely last week.
Really?
I was very lonely. And I think that day in particular, I think Liam was the first person I'd spoken to all day, and it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
As like a human being. 4 o'clock, but that happened, like I had a couple days like that last week, and I felt really lonely, and I don't know.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I kind of attribute it to like my incessant need or feeling that I need to quote unquote lock in. You know, how many times have we said like, oh, we're locked in, we're dialed?
Every day.
Every day we're trying to be dialed. I don't know though. Like I don't have to be. But at the same time, like I just kept calling buddies. I called you. Remember? Yeah. I was trying to set up some play dates.
Yeah.
I wanted to go on some play dates with my friends. I had my mom call your mom, and we set up a play date. And I realized that other people are also locking in, but I just need to speak to somebody before 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because it's not good. I don't know how other people just kind of decide like, hey, whatever, fuck it. You know what I mean?
But are you waking up at 4 and then starting your day, or are you just not doing anything?
No, I mean, I'm doing stuff. Like, I'm waking up at 7:30.
Okay.
And then I'm, like, writing
right.
and working on this podcast.
Right.
And then, like, reading and shit and then, like, 4:30 rolls around, and I'm like, oh, I haven't spoken to anybody all day. I haven't said anything.
Right.
You know what, you never heard of Mount Athos?
No.
Mount Athos is one of the oldest convents in the world. It's Greek Orthodox convent in this, like, on the archipelago. Do not correct me on how to say that. I'm not looking at you, Emmett. I'm looking at the people in the comments. I would never scream at you like that. Although I have before, and I might again. Archipelago of Greece, like one of the, the islands.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like these beautiful monasteries that have been around since the Byzantine Empire. What they talk about is these guys, they wake up at 2:30 in the morning, and they pray and they do like their chants. Bad Bunny. Like shit like that. They do that, but they did a 60 Minutes interview. It was like the first time they'd ever been interviewed. Like, or had like a camera interview in like the existence of this place that's been around fucking 1,000 years.
Wow.
Dude, one of the head monks is from fucking Brookline.
No way.
I swear to God. Or Watertown, yeah. He's from like Watertown, and he was like, what called you here? Like, obviously a Greek guy, and he just goes, I just was not fulfilled. I wanted to be closer to God. And it's like these monks, they talk about this is the closest to God you can get. All they do all day is they pray. But like they pray like in a way that you might see them and think that they are working and doing chores in an observed silence, but under their breath they're saying the Hail Mary.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's intense. Very good.
Shout out that guy.
Shout out to the lawnmower.
Are they similar to friars or no?
I think they're all kind of from the same I think these guys, it's Greek Orthodox.
Okay.
So it's a completely different religion.
Okay.
It's not Catholic at all.
But is it like a vow of poverty, a vow of like chastity? Like
yeah,
those
the
kind
whole
of
thing.
things? Yeah,
so
yeah.
you give it up. Like you die on that island. Like the guy from Watertown was like, I can't leave. He's not allowed to leave. Like he said, like my father asked if I would leave.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, but I cannot break my vow to be closest I can to God.
Right.
Do you know how crazy that is?
That's pretty wild.
But they talked about in that particular clip, or that particular, I watched the whole thing. I say clip, geez, I'm so used to fucking making clips. But when they talked about is the way that the island is quiet. Like, truly you are the closest you can be to the living and breathing embodiment of God's creation. Because it's just silence. You hear nothing else. And God, I think about that sometimes where I'm like, man, I wish I could, you know, I enjoy quiet, you know, I like going for my walks around the neighborhood, but it's just not the same because then I'll just pass by some girl on her hot girl walk being like, yeah, no, I mean, like, does she even fucking know what she's doing? And I'm like, great, yeah. I'm trying to listen to the birds sing and it's just like, just people being like, yeah, I mean, she didn't even pay for the Coachella house. Who is she? That sucked. Yeah, but like, dude, this past week reminded me a lot of working from home. I remember, I distinctly remember I was of the time period, like, you know, again, 28, you're what, 15, Emmett? Yep, you're 15. And I distinctly remember the shift from in-person work in the office to working from home, and how like that big difference it felt like it made. Obviously we were all making sacrifices for COVID, and we had to self isolate, but I just remember how it affected my mental health, how it kept on the year after too. So like 2022, 2021, I'm still working from home. And I think realistically, for people in their 20s, we lost a lot of valuable one-on-one communication skills, especially like I think valuable skills when it pertains to your own job. Like there's a difference between learning from somebody over Zoom, you know? Like that's why like I want to take Spanish, but I don't want to do it over like Duolingo or over whatever. There's a difference in the way that you learn on in-person human connection as opposed to Zoom. So I just think about that shit all the time. Should I not be burping?
No, be you. Be true.
I'm trying to be me. Oh, dude.
Wait, also shouts out the team closing out on a 4-6-3 double play to end the game.
Oh shit, did they?
Yeah, it was just.
Do you think
really
are these guys too old? Do you think to do the 2-4-6-8? Who do we appreciate?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
But not too
right?
old to do the single knee. Listen to the coach
2,
after the
4,
game.
6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Dodgers, yeah. All right, let's throw these burgers on, huh?
Did you play baseball or no?
I played Little League. I was on dude, I remember distinctly my Little League. I like was the oldest. Finally, I got to be pitcher. I threw 3 pitches and I go, you gotta take me out. Cause dude, I've had boulders for shoulders and bad fucking upper body, like bone structure my entire life. You know how like Patrick Mahomes, he can do like, when he throws it, it's like a whipping motion. I am like almost the opposite of that. Where like I'm doing this the entire time. I'm a mess. At 6th grade, I was like, you got to take me out. Dude, my Little League team lost every game, every year.
That's good though.
Why is that good?
Because you guys get to like the team that was always really bad in Little League always had the most fun. I felt like.
No.
You guys did not.
I hated it.
Were you just a pitcher, or did you play?
No, I played like shortstop, second base.
So you were the guy?
No, I sucked.
Shortstop is the position though.
I was only good at fielding.
Okay. Well.
I think like I just had to. I was also playing like lacrosse at the same time, but I'm gonna throw on these. Shit, you know what? I should have for sure brought hand sanitizer or some sort of napkin. But it's okay. Dude, you know what? I know a guy. There's a story of a friend we know from Boston who he was working from home. He just decided to take a shower during a Zoom call. How fucking funny is that?
Camera's still on?
Yeah. Hold on. Dude, yeah. The guy I know. Well, I don't really know him, but like I know of him. Could you imagine? He just like, he put his camera down and then just, he put his laptop down on the floor and then just was like camera on.
That's crazy.
Took a shower and then he came out. Could you just imagine like full frontal, like your laptop's right here and I'm just like, yeah, no. I think we should get this in by the end of Q1. Just doing that. Like, Billy, I would be howling. Oh shit, I put the plastic on the grill. Put the plastic on the grill.
Which Almost Friday comment was the one that was the hardest for you to read?
Oh, the one that said they're clearly not friends?
Yeah,
that one really
was
hurt my feelings.
Really painful. That was really mean.
That was super mean. I hated that, dude. Oh, they're clearly not friends. I'm like, you don't know shit about fuck. You don't know shit. Yeah, man. All right, I wanted to keep going deeper, and let's not lose our train of thought here.
Keep going. Sorry.
I think this is what I was thinking about. I think if I worked corporate again, I'd want to go into an office. Yeah, you went into an office today, didn't you, Emmett?
Yeah.
Shout out to the people that do work from home. I feel as though we've isolated ourselves just in the name of convenience. I get it. Like, you don't want to do the commute, but I think to a certain degree, the commute is what like makes you work harder. Cause you're like, get me the fuck out of this car. I just want to be like out of this car. The commute is like the most deep form of isolation. Then when you finally get to the office, you're like, thank God I get to talk to Janet, who I hate. Thank God. You know? So we get snaps for that, you know? I don't know. I just, without like just really face-to-face human interaction any day, I feel like I'm at the risk of like falling into this life led by like a second version of myself, do you know? Like if you're just in the, all right, yeah, like like the guy in the Zoom window. The guy in the Zoom window is not you. That's corporate you. That's corporate Emmett. It's corporate Alec. Like it's your corporate doppelganger, is what I wanted to say. When we lose like a part of ourselves. When we, all right, is it bad that I'm reading off of this? I feel like I have a lot of, this is a complex idea, but I want to make sure I'm summing it up. But
you
like,
should at least finish.
Yeah. We'll edit this. so it sounds like I'm just going off the top of my ass. Nah, we'll keep it. Here we go. We lose a part of ourselves when we're given the option not to show up in person for our jobs. And it makes me nervous that in real life, it's like this happens to me because even in like real life, you know, I'm known as like this guy, or online, I'm known as this guy that's like, oh, you know, funny guy. And now then, if I'm like a comedian, whatever, online, now like I almost feel as like I have to show up as like this doppelganger version of myself that I portray online. And again, the doppelganger doesn't exactly have to be, quote unquote, like a different version of you, but it's definitely like a more exaggerated version. It's a personal brand. And then like I'll be in, you know, at a party or something. I'm like, am I not crushing it right now? Am I not killing? Should I do crowd work? I'm like, I'm just having a fucking conversation. What am I doing? All right, I'll let these sit for a little bit.
Did you turn the camera off or no? Did you turn that off or no?
No, it's on.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it on. Okay. Just fucking why not?
Okay.
I've been reading this book, Naomi Klein's Doppelgänger. Usually we would just put the thing here, but we can just zoom in this time because I actually brought it with me. I've been loving this book. Naomi Klein is an author who usually talks about things like shock capitalism, climate catastrophes. But she wrote this book because there is another author named Naomi Wolf who she kept on getting confused with online. And this Naomi Wolf character went into a deep rabbit hole and became like very alt-right Steve Bannon-ish after having like this career as a liberal feminist author. So I'm enjoying it very much, but what I wanted to say is like, it's like an analyzation of our shadow selves in a bit. The way that she sees like this woman who she shared so many characteristics with, not like a lot, but like certain characteristics, author, woman, feminist, or anti-capitalist, like anti-whatever, like liberal, blah, 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 then make this dramatic turn through like through her social media presence. She just had to like, yeah. Like it's like how we become essentially like personal brands. Naomi Klein also wrote a really great book called No Brand or something like that. Listen, we'll figure this out. We'll put the actual title there. But she talks about how like eventually, and she wrote this in 2001, not this book, but the No Branding one, all about how we are destined to become personal brands of ourselves. And that is so true now more than ever. We all have to be a personal brand in some way. Even if you work in an office, like that's your brand. That's the office version of you. You know, you're on LinkedIn. That is you as a brand, as a person that can be hired. You know, but being a brand is stripping us of our true humanity. You know, I'm gonna actually here we go. Big Al's fucking book club. I gotta start. Should we start the book club?
100%.
We should do a book club. I am gonna read from the book something that really made me think a little bit. Branding is a process that requires what the author and psychotherapist Nancy Collier describes as an imperative to, quote, relate to ourself in the third person. A commodified self may be rich, but commodification still requires a partitioning, an internal doubling that is inherently alienating. So like there's you, then there's brand you. And as much as we might like to believe that these selves can be kept separate, brands are hungry, demanding things, and one self necessarily impacts the other. If countless numbers of us are doubled, all partitioning and performing ourselves, it becomes harder for anyone to know what is real and what and who can be trusted. Which of our opinions are genuine and which are for show? Which friendships are rooted in love and which are co-branding collabs? What collaborations don't happen that should because individuals' brands are pitted against one another? What doesn't ever get said or shared because it's off-brand? I mean, case in point. Off-brand, it's like Trump administration diving into fascism, the war in Gaza. Like, how many things now are people not standing up to because it is, quote, off-brand? Very, very interesting. What do you think about that, Emmett?
That is pretty interesting. What would you say our relationship is?
Me and you?
Yeah.
I'd say we're boys.
Yeah?
I'd say it started as a work relationship. I mean,
Do you
we
think
hang
it's
out.
rooted in love?
What?
Do you think it's rooted in love?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't really want to hang out with anybody I don't like.
Alec lost, I gave him a gift and he lost it.
I didn't. Yeah, I did. He gave me a great book called Confederates in the Attic, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm sorry.
He left it at the airport.
I left it at the airport. I was reading it.
It was my dad's copy.
Can I finish?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, fucking boo-hoo, Emmett. I like this. Emmett's now trying to insert himself as a character on the show and elicit pity and empathy. It might work. It might work. All right, here we go. People have no choice but to join this hustle, but they also have concerns. In a sales relationship, the customer is always right, and the customer, as a rule, wants more of what they just received. You can tweak a brand, spin it off, and refresh it, but change its fundamentals, you have yourself a dilution crisis and many indignant customers. In the absence of a stable salary, since those have largely evaporated, that displeasure can translate into a direct drop in personal income. So think about like people that, for example, like do one piece of content over and over and over again with different iterations of it. They're afraid to branch out. They're afraid to try something new. They want, like, you know, if you could just be that guy and make as much money as you can off of it, then like, it'll stay the same. I think this is like spot on. Spot on. All right, last quote from this thing. I hope people like reading from the thing. I hope they hate it. This points to what may well prove to be the deepest danger of the era of branded humans. Brands are not built to contain our multitudes. They demand fixedness, stasis, one singular self-person. Human statues, human billboards, like I've said, and I'll go into a certain branded human billboard. Fuck it, I'll get fired up on this because I have something I want to talk about. The form of doubling that branding demands of us is antithetical to the healthy form of doubling. That is, thinking, adapting to changing circumstances. That would be a problem at any time in history, but in a moment like ours, with so many collective crises demanding our deliberation, debate, and elasticity, the stakes feel civilizational. We have become rigid in our personal brands that disallows us from actually thinking critically about the outside world and all the problems that we face. And I'll say this, fuck! Burgers look good. You know what I did? I put a little bit of olive oil on there. Like I did olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder.
Yeah. Olive oil, is that considered a sauce?
No, olive oil is definitely like a topping, maybe. These are good. You want feta cheese on yours?
Sure, why not? Thank you.
There's a certain type of branding out there right now. I call it weaponized himbo-ism. I'm not gonna name names, but it's, you know, guys on social media, usually very attractive guys, that like to, you know, they'll put the photo for, they'll be like, I'm such a dummy. I left my freaking shoe at the bar last night. And then it's just women in the comments section like, oh my God, I need him. And like, maybe you are that dumb. But I think this is, again, like a symptom of branding. If this guy then went on Instagram or like whatever social media and was like, hey guys, I want to show you, this is like a project I've been working on for work. Like, you know, I'm trying to branch out a little bit. They'd be like, no, talk about how you dropped your iced coffee the other day. I think these people, they know what they're doing. I think it's people that are like guys that are intentionally being himbos because it's good for the personal brand. Because then fucking Eli Lilly can be like, hey, like, how would you like to be the face of our new COVID vaccine? Dude, can you remember like COVID? Remember COVID? This is like how fucked up capitalism is, dude. During COVID, people would be like, if it's free, then it must not work. Clearly, if it worked, it would cost something. That's how fucked the system is. Isn't that crazy? I got feta cheese too. You like feta?
Shouts out that guy again.
Dude, they're making them run sprints after practice. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
God, that's...
I mean, I think if you end the game in a 4-6-3 double play, you should run. And then you have another kid doing sit-ups.
Damn, dog. It's just baseball, man.
What about the himbos bother you so much?
I just feel as though it's a bad representation of... I think it's kind of the same way that like I really gravitate towards women on Instagram or social media, or like just let's take gender out of this. It's hard not to though. Nobody should be like just looked at as like kind of like toys or objects, which is what they want. They want these boy toys, these blah blah blah, these whatever. be a creator or be somebody that has something to say. Like, these people are human billboards. They're human fucking billboards. They have no goals, they have no aims, other than to sell you some fucking Tide Pods. That's it. And they're using it under the guise of, oh, like, this is my regular day-to-day, because people like watching them, like, just interact and, like, be themselves. And then they are, I just, like, you want to talk about, like, a brand, like, you're a brand now. You're not a person. Be a person. Fuck.
Are we not allowed to say names specifically?
No, we can't say names.
Okay.
But we'll link in bio. Link in bio to who I'm talking about. Well, I'll actually put it in there. Another really fun thing that I learned, this book touches on, like, the right-wing shift in the fitness industry, which I thought was super fucking interesting. The way that COVID essentially, like, made all of these, like, fitness and wellness influencers, like, super right-wing. And it's along the lines of, like, these kids fucking shut the fuck up. The way these fitness influencers essentially, like, you saw them lose any empathy for people that, like the minute their gyms closed down, they, like, lost empathy for, like, people that couldn't work out or the elderly or any of that stuff. And they were just like, well, I'm healthy. Why do I have to get a vaccine or do blah, blah, blah? And then it just became, like, a name game of, like, don't tell me what to do because you eat cheeseburgers. And, like, god damn, dude. Essentially, we're losing empathy for one another. And one of the final things I want to talk about, the neoliberal order prioritizes the individual and hyper-individualism. If you find yourself, like, of course, find yourself. Dig deep, understand who you are, the great painting, the canvas that is you, and, like, what you enjoy. But a life of deep love requires commitment to others and community. And I truly mean that. And listen, as my Jesuit brothers would say, be a man or woman for others. That's what it's about, okay? It's like, Emmet, I do this for you. I don't pay you. We don't make any money.
No, I do it for me.
I do it for you.
I do it for you too.
Yeah. All right, see? I like that. That's fun. Can't believe these guys they're still practicing? Damn. It's also like the middle of the day. What are they doing? Like, not in school.
I don't know.
You know? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Do you want feta on yours?
For the third time, yeah.
Okay. Attitude.
Sorry.
Attitude.
Sorry.
I'm gonna crumble it with my hand. Is that okay? Look at that. See? Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm making, like, these big overarching leaps, but
No.
I hope this is also, like, I don't know if I'm, like, really particularly being funny.
No. You're being real. And sincere.
But when I tell you I was lonely this past week, man, I resonated. I remembered so hard of, like, how lonely I felt, and, like, working from home, and, like, to all the people that work from home, I think that's, make a concerted effort to go out and see somebody. I think we're losing it. The more that we lean into, like, this branded version of self, and, like, this culture of dialing in and being on, it's like, remember that you're a human being. Do you want the bigger burger, or do you want the smaller one?
Smaller is fine.
Okay. These are pretty hefty, though. Oh, this is gonna be good, buddy.
I feel like it's hinting towards a theme that you have, which is bringing back sincerity. Like, all of these people online are, on the one hand, being their public or personal brands, but those aren't sincerely who they are. That's what's bothering you too, right?
It is. But then again, I don't know if that's not truly who they are. And I guess maybe I'm making an assumption, and maybe I'd like to think more of people that, like, you're better than this. But, like, who am I to impose, like, my sort of moral standards on anybody? But I don't know. I just think to myself, like, what, it would kill me. Wouldn't that hurt? Wouldn't that take a piece of you? To wake up and just, oh, I gotta make this video where where I'm like, oh my God, like I left my headphones in the washing machine. What the frig is going on? By the way, washing machine, I use Tide Pods. Yeah, can you take a bite of this? What? Is it good? Cooked all the way through?
So far.
Yeah, this is good. We're fine. Oh, he's grabbing his Chad. Grab your Chad, Prince. I've been doing a little bit of a screenwriting thing. I've been writing this thing about, I think I told you about that. The BC High thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be
How's it
fun.
going?
I think it's going well. I'm enjoying it. Man, I'll tell you what. Summer's right around the corner and I'm fucking jazzed. Summer's gonna be fun. A couple guys like us, we should do a trip. Should we do a trip?
Yeah, I'd be so down.
We should go like San Luis Obispo or something.
Whatever you want, baby.
I've been listening to Turnstile a lot. I wanna go to like a fucking nice concert. At night I make the four walls. We've been fucking crushing it. This is a good episode.
I'm gonna hate hearing my own voice.
Why, dude? You have things to say. You're also a person. All right? I'm not one of those guys that doesn't let the fucking producer have his day in the shade. Day in the sun, I should say.
Day in the shade seems more fitting.
You're an important part of this show. Before Emmet came on, it was a shit show. We had no guests. Actually, no, we had guests, but it was mayhem. All right.
I'll Venmo the first person to comment something positive about me.
That's a good idea. Look at that. All right, thumbnail.
Hold the book up with it, no?
Copyright.
Who cares?
We just Photoshop Mein Kampf. That's a turkey burger, huh? They're pretty good, no?
Feta really helps.
Well, feta helps. All right, well, anyway, guys, I think that's probably it for today. You know, I want to enjoy this burger, maybe talk with Emmet, but I hope that you guys are really enjoy the solo pods as well. You know, we can go from having a good old time, a good old laugh, but sometimes I do feel like I'm going insane as well. I'm truly like, I'm going nuts, but these are things that I want to talk about. I think about this shit all day.
Speaking of insanity, you have a real man of genius you'd wanna plug before we wrap up?
I do have a real man of genius. We got to cut the part where I say, we're done.
Leave it in.
Here we go. Real fucking bus driving by. Real man of genius. Here's to you, Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette! I've been watching Dark Side of the Ring for the past week and a half, and you are my favorite guy in all of wrestling history. Man, you're cuckoo bananas! I love your big old glasses and the way that you have such a deep knowledge of every wrestling match that's ever happened since 1942. Man, that's a big old Rolodex! The way that you have such vitriol for other people such as Vince Russo, Vince McMahon, it makes me laugh real hard. He wants to piss on their grave! But at the end of the day, you are the embodiment of sincerity. Because when asked by the interviewer, you said, Vince Russo says you're mad just about fucking Jesus Christ. At the end of the day, you are the embodiment of sincerity. The way that you have passion for wrestling and the way that you say, hey, it's predetermined, but those bumps are real. They're taking those bumps. They're falling from those ladders, damn it. And not only that, but your hate for Vince Russo makes me really laugh. God, you hold a grudge! One of my favorite quotes of yours was when you go, Vince Russo says it's just about wrestling? Really? Well, here's some fucking information for you. Wrestling has been the most important thing in my life. I can't wait to piss on his grave. My wife has instructions. Even if I'm in a wheelchair, she'll ride up, I will piss on his grave. He has no respect for the business. Man, I love that guy. So here's to you, Jim Cornette. Whoa! You are this week's Real Man of Genius. Real Man of Genius. Check out Dark Side of the Ring on Hulu, guys. It's really good. Wait. I gotta say goodbye for real. Shit, look at that, dude. That's good. I want to say, guys, thank you again for listening to the podcast. And please come see me live. The only way I can keep Emmet fed and keep myself fed on this show is if you come out and see me live, buy some t-shirts. But to all the friends out there that have come to the shows so far this year, it means the world to me. And I can't wait to meet more of you out on the road and throughout the country. Shut the fuck up. All right, I love you guys. Bye. No, wait. Let it be some B-roll. You like me giving you instructions?